You know that underlying thrum of anxiety about money, like that feeling of constantly stressing about your bank account versus, actually having a reliable system to build wealth.
Oh, absolutely. It's exhausting.
Right. So today, we're skipping all the abstract theory. We're diving straight into a stack of financial reports and market data to give you a lightning-fast breakdown of the 50-30-20 budgeting rule.
Yeah, we're looking at the exact math here.
Exactly. Because, budgeting without a strict framework is basically like driving without a GPS. You might be moving really fast, but you're probably just driving in circles.
Yeah, you need coordinates to actually know where you're going. And the 50-30-20 rule gives you those exact coordinates by splitting your after-tax income into, 3 distinct buckets.
Okay, so break down those buckets for us.
Right, so first, 50% goes to your needs. These are your absolute non-negotiables. Think rent, utilities, basic groceries, and minimum debt payments.
Just the baseline survival stuff.
Exactly. Then 30% goes to your wants. Your lifestyle money, dining out, streaming services, weekend trips, that sort of thing.
The fun bucket.
Yeah, the fun bucket. And finally, the last 20% is your wealth bucket. This is money for emergency funds and investing in things like the S&P 500.
Which is just a basket of the top 500 U.S. companies, right?
Right. Or investing in REITs, which are basically just a way to invest in real estate without having to actually buy a whole building yourself.
Wait, okay, let me push back here for a second.
What?
Looking at the economic reality of 2026, keeping those needs capped at exactly 50.
Because if your needs hit 60%, that extra 10% has to be slashed directly from your wants bucket. You never, ever rob from your 20% wealth bucket to fund your lifestyle.
Wow, okay. So the wealth bucket is untouchable.
Completely untouchable. You have to treat that 20% as a fixed bill that you owe to your future self. It should carry the same severe penalties in your mind as missing your rent.
That's a brutal way to look at it, but it makes sense. Let's ground this in some real numbers to see why that boundary is so crucial.
Let's do it.
Imagine someone named Alex bringing home, let's say, $4,000 a month after taxes.
Okay, so applying the rule to Alex, the 50% needs bucket is exactly $2,000. That covers those foundational survival costs we talked about.
Rent, utilities, basic food, transport.
Right, which leaves 30% or $1,200 for the wants bucket. That covers the gym, dinners out, maybe some weekend trips.
Visually separating out that $1,200 for fun does something very specific psychologically. It actively combats lifestyle creep.
Oh, absolutely. How so?
Well, when inflation hits your rent hard, seeing that $1,200 sitting clearly in the wants bucket makes it glaringly obvious where the cuts need to happen to protect your investments.
That's a great point. It forces a conscious trade-off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than just letting all your spending blur together into one big mess.
Yeah, it forces brutal honesty about what you actually require to live. And by maintaining that firm boundary, you protect the final bucket.
The wealth bucket.
Right. For Alex, that remaining 20% is $800 a month. To systematize wealth building, Alex splits it right down the middle.
So $400.
$400 goes into a high-yield savings account for emergencies, and the other $400 goes into a Roth IRA.
Which, for anyone listening, is just a specialized retirement account where your money grows tax-free.
Exactly. And let's say that Roth IRA is invested directly in the S&P 500.
It's so tempting, though, to look at just $400 a month and wonder if that's even making a dent in the grand scheme of things. Like, is it really worth the sacrifice?
Well, the math here is the core of why this whole system works. If you consistently invest that $400 a month, assuming a historical average 8% growth rate.
Okay, 8% growth.
Right. That $400 a month turns into $73,000 in just 10 years.
$73,000 from a rigid $400 a month habit. That's wild.
That is the mechanical power of compounding. Your money literally starts generating its own income.
But you only get there if you're strict, right?
Exactly. That $73,000 only materializes if you treat that initial contribution as an uncompromising fixed expense. The second you start trading your investment bucket as leftover money, the compounding engine just breaks down.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Building wealth isn't necessarily about pulling in a massive salary.
No, it's really not.
It's about relentlessly protecting your 20% wealth bucket from bleeding into your lifestyle wants.
Yeah, it requires a profound shift in how honestly you categorize your daily life.
Which leaves us with this final thought. If you audited your last 30 days of spending right now, how much of your needs bucket is actually just wants in disguise?